Wander Deep by Andy Room. Chapter 17. Applejack stared at the coke-covered body. Suddenly, all he had gone through with Twilight's spark became a joke. That creature was not her friend. It never had been. Twilight never harbored lustful feelings for her. She had never seen Applejack as anything but her friend. And that's exactly how Applejack wanted to remember the studious unicorn. The fact that a twisted, fraudulent, and lustful thing was prancing around with Twilight's face was unforgivable. The fact that that fiend had used her friend's face to try and lure her into bed was inexcusable. The fact that the monster had forced her into a kiss and she had kissed back was really confusing. But one thing was sure. Regardless of the things that he had done, her unicorn friend was pure and innocent. Something that made her feel much better about the conflicting emotions inside of her. There was a tiny voice inside, sounding much like her deceased friend, that told her she had been right, that her honest feelings for Twilight Sparkle was strong and clear as ever. Even if Spark was another story. She shook her head. The conflicting emotions when it came to the Twilight clone were getting too distracting for the normally grounded Earth pony. Passing around the room, she took notice of Soren talking to Nightmare Moon. Or further back, a brother standing guard over the artifact that had absorbed Trixie. Forgetting about her own problems, she considered her brother and the now gone ghost. What had happened there? Being back had been to a mockery of a show Trixie had put up in Ponyville so long ago. She remembered how she ranted and raved about the show mare. Applejack recalled vividly how he had supported her, while she explained how much she hated Trixie, and how bad she felt at being humiliated in front of every pony. Since then, Trixie had somehow died and came back as a ghost. She had then met her brother, and in the span of time it took for them to meet and arrive in Canterlot, both ponies had developed feelings for each other. Betty McIntosh seemed truly devastated by the loss of Trixie, so Applejack had no doubt whatsoever about his interest in the late show mare. The feelings seemed to be mutual, since Trixie's last words had been directed at her brother. The longing and helplessness behind it also showed that even in her last moments, her thoughts had been for Big McIntosh. Applejack sighed. She didn't like Trixie, but her brother was a good judge of character. She had never any reason to doubt him. If his gut feeling was that the show mare was right for him, there was probably more to Trixie than she had seen or thought. Thinking about Trixie made her realize how little things made sense now. Applejack groaned and fought the urge to bump her head on a granite wall. One of the reasons she loved her life as a farmer is that things made sense. Everything was straightforward. If you plant a tree in good soil and care for it, it grows strong. Then it gives fruit, and you reap the benefits of your hard work. Granted, sometimes her life made her feel like she was pulling a train uphill, by herself. However, apples might come out bad, or pests might attack. Perhaps the trees would get sick. For the most part, if you were careful, worked hard, followed the steps, and kept honest, good things happen. That made sense. Love? Love did not. Especially when there was a certain pony-crazy creature claiming to love her. Applejack sighed and sat next to her brother. The least she could do was be there for him. I think you're lost, Sleebell said aloud, to no pony in particular. Then she turned to Skulu. I think you're lost, Skulu. I heard you the first time. The Pegasus growled, looking at the big houses. If I could fly. How's it get lost, Guardian? Absolutely no idea, Sleebell said. We followed the instructions to that cult with the yellow and black bandana Skulu was talking to with the letter. The three looked around and sighed. Okay, I think we might ask somebody a little more reliable than a big backpack. Fine, Skulu growled. Hey, I see a few guards over there. They definitely know the city, right? And they should be reliable. He said, Sleebell agreed. Let's do it! As the three custodians made their way down the street, the guards would stop on each house, talk briefly to the ponies there, and send them on their way somewhere. I wonder what's going on, Evelyn said, looking at the group of guards they talked to, yet another pony outside her home. Do you think it has something to do with the show at the plaza? Sleebell looked at all of the ponies, who immediately leave after talking with the guards. Probably. It's gotta be something awesome if they're having the guards remind every pony about it. Skilla said, a smile spreading on her face. Finally, the three reached the guards. This is a family of 3 unicorns walked out of their home to meet them. The unicorns didn't look very happy. In fact, they all seemed tired. And the young unicorn, who had to be about their own age, looked like she had been crying. She was clinging tight to a familiar-looking piece of cloth.
It's by order of all citizens, without exception, to go to the plaza today.
I understand, but please, we just had horrible news. The male unicorn pleaded to the guard. We just lost one of our own. We want time to mourn. The guard looked actually uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, sir, but this isn't the right order. And well, the queen was very clear about what would happen to those who failed to try to abate it.
The unicorn sighed. Fine then, we'll go to the plaza.
Oh, you're going to the plaza?
Sleep exclaimed as the 3 crusaders reached the guards. Nessie tried her best to impersonate her elder sister.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we were just hoping to get there, and we were hoping you gentle coach could tell us how to do so.
Skilla leaned towards Apple Bloom.
Is it me, or does she sound like Rarity?
So yes, Philly whispered back, staring at the unicorn.
We'll take you there,
the unicorn mare said, giving a sad look to her daughter and the 3 fillies.
Where are your parents? You shouldn't go alone to something like this.
The 3 crusaders sounded a little nervous.
Our sisters are gonna be there, Apple Bloom said. Applejack was at the castle not too long ago. And Rainbow Dash will definitely be there.
Skilla said excitedly, not noticing the looks the guards exchanged.
She's not my sister, but we go back. My sister Mary needs to be there as well as her friends Twilight, Fluttershy, and Pinkie Pie, Sleepout said.
Did you say that the Rainbow Dash and Twilight Sparkle are your acquaintances?
The guard asked. The 3 fillies nodded. The guard gave him a hard look.
How did you know them?
Well, I live with one of them in Ponyville,
Apple Bloom explained.
I know Applejack.
One of the guards in the back said.
That little one speaks with the same weird accent, and she does look kind of like her.
I like weird,
Apple Bloom complained.
Not to mention the Pegasus is like a miniature Rainbow Dash, except for the coat color. Her mane's done in the same style. Are you sure they're not related?
Another said.
Fine, then.
The lead guard said, looking back to the unicorn mare, that was now looking a bit conflicting, having offered help.
My lady, would you mind watching over these 3 while they're at the plaza? They seem to come all the way from Ponyville by themselves.
Skulu, Sweetbell, and Apple Bloom gasped.
How did you know?
The Pegasus asked.
The guard ignored him. And I'll relay the queen to some very important ponies, including our queen's second in command.
The way the guard had let it act was more of an order than a question, so Cinnamon had no choice but to acquiesce with a hesitant nod of her head.
Good,
the lead guard said.
One of my guards will escort you to make sure that you are close to the stage.
The adults looked completely sick when they heard that, but the crusaders stood around happily.
Let's hear that go? Front row slings,
Apple Bloom gushed.
I knew Rainbow Dash would pull through.
Sweet Postula aside.
Hey, I thought you were angry at her for what she did at Ponyville.
Skula turned around.
Oh, yeah? What about Sarah Jade? Do you want to talk to her?
Girls! Apple Bloom shouted.
Oh, ma'am. We shouldn't keep these nice ponies waiting.
Ear or two lowered her head.
Sorry.
The guards, who looked bewildered by the casual tossing of names related to really dangerous ponies, just nodded as they returned to normal. One of the guards started guiding the 3 unicorns and the 3 crusaders. Skulu kept staring at the cloths wrapped around the young filly's neck.
Where have I seen that?
Her eyes opened wide.
Trixie!
The 3 unicorns immediately stopped, and the guard leading them carried on walking for a few feet, while realizing they had stayed behind.
What about her? Look at that key. Is it just like the one Trixie had? I remember Twilight taking it and a hat back with her to Dizzy's help. You Trixie?
The little unicorn asked.
Can we get going? The guard interrupted. I'm sorry, you can talk on the way.
The group started walking again. But this time the unicorn family kept pace with the three crusaders.
Well, we didn't really get to talk with her. Little Snails and Snips talked to her all out,
Evelyn said after a moment.
Yeah, but her show was pretty cool, Schooler said, until she started making fun of our friends. See, you wouldn't do that, Stacy's friend said. Sis isn't a bad pony.
This time, it was the three Kumite crusaders that stopped short. Move! The guard shouted back. The three stumbled to catch up.
She did, Schooler insisted. She turned Dazz's rainbow into a twister. She tied up my sister with magic to prove she was better, Evelyn had. And she turned my sister's hair into a rat's nest, Sleeville sighed. I think her must get over it. It was pretty funny, though. Never seen my sister tied up like that. She called done it to me a couple times before, but since that happened. Evil Blue! Sleepdog gasped. Oh, come on!
Earpoint Phillies rolled her eyes.
Well, I'll remember you mates and rats all the time to your sister whenever you got annoyed at her. Like you would leave one of Obelix's toys in her bed because he grounded you. Yes, just remember. Even she was never able to prove it was me.
The unicorn looked away.
I remember that after she put the Ursa Meyer to sleep, Twilight was trying to find Trixie all over the place,
Scooter said after a moment.
If it wasn't for Ditzy, I don't know if she ever would have. Hi, didn't Twilight leave Ponyville to go talk to her? Apple Bloom asked. I remember my sister was very grumpy that whole week. She said it was a waste of time.
Why? Simon asked, looking at them with a mysterious expression. Why was Twilight Sparkle looking for my daughter? Scooter and Applebloom shrugged and turned to look at their unicorn friend.
Well,
Sweetbell looked at the ponies around her and blessed.
I wasn't supposed to be awake, but one night I heard Twilight tell Rarity that she had been very impressed with Trixie's control over magic. She said that Trixie wasn't as powerful as she was, that she probably knew less spells, but she made up for it with ingenuity. Sweetbell said. And when Trixie ran away, she left a lot behind a lot of her stuff, including her books and essays. So Twilight tried to find to give it to her, and also talk about magic.
Simon closed her eyes and leaned against her husband. Daisy's brow sighed.
Sis. Are you really Trixie's sister?
Applebloom asked softly, having noticing how depressed the other feeling had gotten ever since the strawberry had been brought up.
Did she give you her key?
Scootaloo asked. I had to get the unicorn to speak to them. He didn't see the two elder unicorns cringe, but Daisy Bloom had a small smile.
I think she will. Someday.
The three crusaders looked at each other. The family sadness and the way they kept talking about Trixie as if she was gone finally settled in.
Do you want to tell me about her show?
Scootaloo asked. Daisy Sprout blinked tears away, smiling at the three crusaders as he took turns describing to Trixie the great and powerful Trixie had shown in front of the crowd at Ponyville. Nightmare Moon was in deep thought after Soren had finished describing to Cambro before he collapsed into himself. She started pacing, looking around the room. The rooms had absolutely nothing to do with the 8-seat Cambro. They were responsible for every pony being able to actually see and hear ghosts. Her brow furrowed. Ghosts, the Guardian. Cults, nightmares, the Cambro, Twilight's body, Twilight's spark, Trixie. There had to be a connection to all this. She looked at the body on the floor, this time analytically. Her eyes roamed to the Cambro. She recalled Midnight's words about his body being disintegrated just by touching it. It was powerful enough to destroy the ghost, too, she knew, and he had known it. So he sent Trixie just to see what would happen. The Cambro. Why is it so powerful? What sacrifice had been demanded to create it? Why create it in the first place? And who had created it? And what about the key marks inscribed on it? Slowly realized Daisy seeped into her mind. Her eyes widened as he looked towards the artifact. Could it be? Nightmare Moon! A voice shouted as someone ran into the cavern. His face had disappeared like a bubble bursting, and the unicorn soared silently, turning to silent Jade as he ran into the smaller chamber, running straight towards her, panting slightly. Clearly, still years of inaction have affected the assassin a bit. What is it? Nightmare Moon's frown hadn't disappeared, although the focus of it now was on the green-maned unicorn.
Nightmare for now.
See, Holly! Alzak got it up and tried to them, peering at Jade closely.
You can talk? I'll talk!
Jade stepped back.
You're still here.
You're losing your age, Jade. Nightmare Moon smirked, earning a glade from the unicorn. Alzak frowned. What?
I recognize that voice!
Her eyes widened. She opened her mouth to speak again, but her words stuck there, as if cold metal pressing against her throat.
Herbal drink!
Big Macintosh jumped up and approached the pair nervously. Once the blady assassin pulled out of nowhere, pressed against his sister's neck. Soren didn't look happy. Last thing he wanted to do was get into a fight right now, but he decided to side with Big Mac on this one, flanking the assassin. Really, Jade? Nightmare Moon frowned at the impromptu standoff. Is that really necessary? Jade gritted her teeth and body trembled, but the hoof was hidden with the razor-sharp blade pressed against Applejack's neck, never wavered. The farmer was frozen in place, her eyes wide, staring in horror at the unicorn.
You cannot reveal my identity,
Jade cried, her eyes never leaving the Earth's ponies.
I won't allow it. Too much rides on it. You have no idea how bad it could get. I don't ever say my name while I'm Jade. Do you understand? I need you to promise me, Applejack, and you too, Big Macintosh. This is no joke.
Applejack nodded very, very carefully. Feeling cold sweat rolled down her back.
I'll pinky swear.
Saw Jade glanced at Big Mac. Looked a bit doubtful, but also nodded. Sighing, she let her hoof fall, the blade retracting into its hidden chamber. Nightmare Moon lowered her head eye level with the unicorn, her glare almost making Jade step back. You and I will have a talk after all this is done. Will you tell me why that was necessary? The assassin hesitated, but nodded. The unicorn held her eyes for a few more moments before pulling back. What is it that you needed to tell me so bad you blew your cover?
Jade cringed. It's your sister. She knows about the medallions. She caught Spitfire in the spell and she was turning her into something.
What?
Soren shouted, stepping in front of the assassin and ignoring Nightmare Moon.
What do you mean, turning her into something?
He stared into the assassin's eyes.
What happened to her?
Celestia put her in a circle with runes inscribed around it. She used the medallion to siphon power into it. I saw 4 smaller circles that had some sort of energy in them. I was interrupted and didn't see more. They don't trust us anymore. I've seen some of the guard that I know. It took me the better part of an hour to get here without killing anybody else.
Applejack stepped back.
You killed some pony?
Jane nodded, noticing neither the farmer's disturbed look or caring.
I was caught scrying by a member of the cult.
Nightmare Moon slowly raised a hoof and massaged her temple, eyes closed. Any pony important?
She said he was the third in the order of Celestia.
You can't stop Glimmer!
Dad? No! I finally found my long-lost father. Oh, I'm so sorry, Starlight. I didn't realize this fit killed your dad. Me neither. I'm gonna go over here and cry now. What was his name?
Jade shrugged.
I hid his body. I doubt to find him anytime soon.
Disgusted, Applejack had become paler and paler until she had to sit down, still staring at the silent unicorn as if he had grown 2 heads. Yes, that was his name, Nightmare Moon said testily, and the fact that he is one of the 3 most talented unicorns in Equestria's order.
Talented?
Jade Duff.
Please, I know of plenty of that unicorns with more talent.
Fine. The unicorn rolled her eyes.
Still notice him missing.
Jade's ears twitched.
Did anybody else hear that?
The others shook their head, confused. You would, Soren asked.
It sounds like clutching.
She inclined her head. They remained silent for a moment.
I guess it's gone.
Excuse me, Soren raised a hoof. Spitfire, circles.
I'm afraid I don't know what she's up to. Circles and runes can do a lot, but she's painting Spitfire and using the medallion.
A sharp crack made them all blink. They slowly turned around to find that the camera was shaking. Its shape contorting and trying to expand. Little rivulets of dark purple energy swirled and were snapped around it, as the group carefully stepped away from it. Tracy woke up. Everything around her was light. There were no walls, no ceiling or floor. For a moment she panicked. How the great and powerful! Slow memories came back to her as she winced.
Ouch!
Her voice had a weird quality to it. It seemed distant, at the same time followed by an echo. It was kind of ghostly. Another voice seemed to float towards her. Why? The voice was distant, but it seemed so much more real than her own, that Trixie immediately set out towards it. The voice is clearer now. The light seemed to dim somewhat, creating a feeling that she was walking into a room. Dangerous. We don't know exactly who they are, but my research points to their existence hailing from over 1,000 years ago. A strong-looking unicorn in golden armor said. Tracy carefully stepped into the room, and everything came into sharp focus. It was a nursery? Tracy looked at the three ponies in the room. The soldier that had spoken was talking to Princess Celestia, who stood next to her crib. The last one was a unicorn in expensive-looking robes decorated with magic symbols and runes.
But why would they want to harm my filly?
Celestia asked. Tracy stared at the princess, completely ignoring the answer the unicorn gave.
A filly? The princess had a filly? This she has to see.
Since he seemed unaware of her presence, Tracy made her way next to the crib and peeked inside. She'd never seen an Alcorn filly before. She smiled at how cute it looked.
Would my own like a unicorn or more like Big Mac?
She blankly shook her head.
The great and powerful Trixie was not going to think about that right now.
She looked at the filly instead. Little wings was tucked close to her body, the cutest little horn poking out from a growing mane. She looked really familiar. Purple coat, darker shade of purple on her mane, the violet eyes.
But how can we protect her then?
Princess Celestia's voice seemed louder. Trixie realized that the Alcorn had turned to face the crib again. It was effectively right next to her. If I may suggest something, the robed unicorn in the room said, taking a hesitant step forward. Twilight is too young to defend herself. Maybe if we sealed some of her power, turned her into an earth pony, unicorn, or Pegasus, she could still live in the castle, but no pony would recognize her as your daughter. She would grow up learning the ways of court, and by the time she's old enough to receive her full power, she would not be defenseless. That seems complicated, the soldier unicorn said, then turned to Celestia. My princess, let me hunt down those miscreants. With all due respect, Lord Lance, the robed unicorn interrupted. We know they have infiltrated the castle. We cannot really trust any pony outside this room.
I imagine you wouldn't suggest something like you did without already having a plan,
Celestia asked. The robed unicorn nodded. I have done some research into the Cambro spell.
I am familiar with it, Celestia said evenly. I fail to see how it would help in this situation, unless you want to capture my filly in time.
The spell could be adapted to contain excess powers from other traits that we would want to remove from the filly. He hesitated. I think Lord Lance is right, and we have to find the Assassin's Guild. I don't know why they kept up with the attempts on your life, but where they failed at killing you, they might just mask it with an innocent filly. Hey, the Brotherhood would never attack a small child. Then again, nothing is true. Everything is permitted. It's probably not because of my pony,
ponies haven't even caught a glimpse of her in the last 11 months. They sensed a weakness. My guards are not really a match to the assassins. The enveloped unicorn interrupted. I know they are trustworthy for the most part, Lord Lance. But let's face it, the last time an assassin made it to the castle, they were not most use. Had you not been guarding the princess yourself? The guard snorted and scratched the floor with his hoof, not denying anything.
What kind of life can I give to my own daughter by having her hide who she is?
Celestia asked. It was then a scuffle was heard outside. So the door kicked in, and 2 ponies in cloaks rushed into the room. Tracy unconsciously moved in front of the crib, in tandem with Celestia, as one of the assassins jumped toward Lance. The other one attacked the robed unicorn, was stopped by a shield spell, followed by a small ball of energy that sent the pony flying out of the room. Solmare had never seen some pony cast magic so powerful, so effectively and quickly before. Tracy had been distracted by the casting prowess of the unicorn wizard. She didn't look at Lance until she heard a sickening crack. She looked at the soldier as he let the dead assassin slide to the floor.
Eldrick,
Celestia said, looking at the robed unicorn.
can the Canberra be a short time measure? If we hide my daughter with ponies we can trust till we have dealt with the Assassin's Guild, can we dispel it and return her to normal?
That should not be a problem, Princess, Eldrick said. In fact, if all involved gave a little power to the spell, the Canberra will use the energy as a sacrifice needed for it. When your daughter returns to normal, she'll have a bit more magic than she would have otherwise. But she should be fine. Celestia looked at the bodies of the 2 guards and the assassins.
Do it!
Tracy blinked as everything changed around her. She felt herself being pulled. She was in another room. No. She recognized this place immediately. It was the cave where all the runes were. It looked exactly the same as when she had entered it. The princess and the 2 unicorns, Lance and Eldrick, were there again, but they had been joined by 2 more. Tracy gasped when she recognized a much younger Midnight, standing next to a mare with stars for a key mark.
That must be Twilight Velvet, she thought.
The sleeping form of Twilight was wrapped, and resting safely in Celestia's levitation spell.
I have cast the most powerful illusion and disorientation spells I could on Twilight's form, as you requested, Eldrick. No pony alive, other than I, should be able to even detect your shielding spell,
Celestia said, looking sadly at her filly. The robed unicorn nodded. I've already tied the Canberra's energy signature to return to their room, where it will be safe until we dispel it, and return the power to your daughter, unless entry is forced, in which case it'll come back here immediately. Lance looked up. Are you absolutely sure it will? Yes. Eldrick nodded as he walked around the room. Our memories of the event should also return immediately. All of us? Midnight asked. Yes, for all of us. Although in your case more work is needed, Eldrick said. We will need make memories for you 2. We trust you, but you have to be absolutely convinced that Twilight is yours. The 2 unicorns looked slightly uncomfortable, but nodded regardless. You'll have to understand that our enemy is very resourceful. We don't know how far their influence goes. So after you 2 have your new memories, you'll be transported back home. It was a happy coincidence that both of you were gone for roughly a year for your research, so there will be no questions asked, Lance elaborated. I understand, Uncle. Midnight nodded.
Are you sure you're going to be okay with this, Your Majesty?
Twilight Velvet asked, after a second, looking at the unicorn with pity.
This seems dangerous.
Tracy had to agree. While Eldrick certainly seemed to know what he was doing, the whole thing was probably more complicated than it should be. Were the assassins so feared and resourceful that they merited actions such as this to protect a single filly? Celestia looked at the filly. Her eyes were shimmering with tears.
For now, I know it's a lot to ask all of you, but I have to do everything in my power to protect my filly.
She hesitated.
If anything went wrong, please take care of my Twilight.
She kissed the sleeping unicorn's forehead, and then slowly directed it into a bundle up to Twilight Velvet, carefully levitated with her own spell. She looked into the bundle, just as Twilight stirred and opened her big violet eyes. Unicorn almost melted then and there.
It'll be my honor to watch over her for you, princess, she whispered.
We'll start now. I have devised the rune metrics that, once started, will conclude the whole spell, finishing by teleporting all of you back to your rooms,
Eldrick said.
The other unicorns and the alicorn stepped back as the road wizard started intoning a spell. Before Trixie's eyes, Twilight began to glow. Her wings seemed to shrink until they were completely gone, turned into magic energy. Was then pulled together in a small ball of light form. Soon, tendrils of magic whipped about it, looking like long blank scrolls that contorted and swam in the air. The ball of light pulsated with every snap or twist of the tendrils. Magic seemed to want to eat everything around it. Eldrick's horn was glowing with an almost blinding light as energy seeped out of it, forming runes into the air. A rune flew over each unicorn into one alicorn. Celestia closed her eyes to let magic flow as the rune over her flashed and died. The symbol representing the sun, an exact duplicate of her cutie mark, appeared on the black tendrils. It was soon followed by 5 more. One was the moon, a copy of Luna's cutie mark. The other 4 Trixie recognized as representing the 4 seasons. The princess slumped down, spent, though her horn still shone with magic. She looked confused at Luna's cutie mark appearing on the black tendrils alongside hers. Each unicorn's horn in turn after hers. Midnight's cutie mark appeared next, followed by star dancers and lances. Trixie noticed that the runes on the walls had started glowing softly as all this happened. Then, she felt a tug on her magic. And to her bewildered eyes, a soft cloud of magic flowed from her horn to add her cutie mark to the tendrils.
Where did that come from? Celestia asked, worried. We need to stop this, Eldrick.
I don't know, the maid shouted, confused. It seems there's another unicorn here. The spell! It can't be stopped now! It's still draining our magic!
They can't be!
Celestia sighed as energy began to whiplash around, creating a hum.
There should be nobody here. We all checked!
An assassin!
Lance guessed at the sound.
I think I see somebody there.
Stardazzler sighed, her horn still glowing, pointing a hoof in Trixie's direction. They all turned to look at her.
I can't stop!
The shellmare shouted, although she did not know they could hear her. The magic seeping out of her horn seemed to increase.
She's destroying the Matrix! I don't know what's going to happen!
Don't you dare risk my filly's life!
Celestia shouted, standing up.
The great and powerful Trixie!
The unicorn groaned as the magic was soaked out of her.
Would never hurt Twilight!
She shouted back. Celestia seemed taken aback, but a sudden shockwave of magic knocked them all down.
The spell matrix is out of control!
Eldrick said as an angry red lightning bolt made of pure magic hit Lance square in the chest. The whole room shuddered, and the air turned heavy as the magic enveloped him. The soldier shouted in pain as a cloud of something seeped out of his head and was absorbed by the spear. It was immediately doubled inside. The tendrils whipped as amazing force, as if the memories had fed them somehow. The unicorn did not even hit the floor before he was suddenly not there.
Lance!
Celestia shouted, Uncle! Midnight tried to move towards where the soldier had been standing, but like the others, he was held in place by the indescribable force the magical artifact was exerting on the room.
The spell is still working!
Eldrick shouted, as wind seemed to pick up from nowhere. His robes billowed all around him. He had to raise his voice to make sure every pony could hear him.
His memories of Twilight were erased. He was then teleported away!
Twin bolts of lightning corrected the air. It struck Midnight and Star Dancer. Celestia cried out as the spell holding Twilight failed, expecting the filly to hit the floor. A light blue aura immediately caught the bundled up filly, holding her in place next to the unicorns. The princess looked gratefully at Trixie, who was slowly becoming more and more solid. It almost seemed the magic was drained from her form. The burst of energy would feed into her body. Who are you, Trixie? She asked as the memories of both unicorns drifted out of them, threw the magic storm into the Cambaro, once again doubled in size.
I'm a friend of Twilight.
Trixie groaned as she tried to hold her filling in place, as her magic was being drained, and could feel her body being assaulted by energy all around her.
I just never appreciated what she did for me, or realized it until now.
The pair of unicorns suddenly disappeared, followed by the little bundle containing Twilight. Trixie gasped as the magical energy she used to hold the filling in place was absorbed into the storm. You! Eldrick groaned as another lightning bolt hit Celestia, making the princess cry out as a considerably bigger cloud of memories was taken out forcefully by the grasping like tendrils of lightning and drained into Cambro. You're for the future?
Yes!
Trixie sighed as the princess was teleported away.
I found this Cambro alongside Midnight. I came into it to find out more about it.
How far?
About 20 years, I think.
You have to get out of here now, Eldrick intoned. You could be completely destroyed!
I've been trying!
Trixie retorted, annoyed. The ears he seen together once more. This time the lightning bolt flew straight towards her. She panicked and struggled against the unbending magical force that held her in place. Eldrick's body just seemed to appear before her. He was hit by the bolt, and screamed as his memories were ripped out of his mind. He struggled against it as the words poured out of his mouth. This is the last one. I won't make it, but the spell should be finished. He opened his eyes and looked at her. Will Twilight be safe all these years? The Showmare nodded. Her eyes wouldn't leave the unicorn, dead to sacrifice his life for hers. Eldrick shook his head and smiled, raising his voice even more, as the whole room seemed to hum with energy. Your horn isn't glowing. It seems I broke the Cambro's hold on your power. Run, now! Trixie turned and ran. The room started to fade behind her as she heard an explosion. Magic itself framed around her as she was picked up from the non-floor and flung out into the light. The Cambro exploded. Big Macintosh's eyes widened as Trixie was hurled out of the magical artifact in an impressive wave of multicolored energy. The Shellmare flew through the room and slammed into the draft pony with enough force to knock both of them down, where they lay in a confused heap. The energy whirled around the cavern before blasting towards Twilight's body. Every pony stared as the cloak was burned in the magical vortex. The body was lifted in the air, revealing the gruesome injuries Twilight had suffered. Jade stifled a gasp as he saw the unicorn floating limply in the air. Twilight's horn had been ripped off her forehead, where the wound bled all over her face and revealed little pieces of bone. Her front left leg was twisted in a way that made it obvious it had been broken in several parts. The whole left side of her body was burnt. The coat was charred black and revealed the burnt skin under it. Her once carefully kept mane was almost missing completely, also burnt by the magical fires of her encounter with the late midnight. The key mark had faded completely. Slowly, as the magic seeped into her, the wounds reacted. Exposed skin lost the burnt look, growing rod red and slowly turning a healthy pink as the coat seemed to extend over it, the burnt parts fading into the magic whirlpool of energy. Her legs stretched into proper position. The blood slowly faded from her face as the bones seemed to shift and mend as a layer of skin followed it by a purple fur. Her mane grew again, settling to familiar style Twilight Sparkle favored. The body was slowly spinning in place, held aloft by the sheer amount of magic acting on it. Twilight shuddered and drew a raspy gasp as she took in air. She groaned as her body twisted and she shook her head. There remained no sign of her injuries. The fading magic slowly lowered her down until she stood, shaking in front of the awestruck ponies around her. The last of the magic snaked into her flank, where a cutie mark appeared with a flash. Shing! Oh, she moaned, slowly opening her eyes and carefully looking around. Dad, why did you... Her head snapped up, eyes wide as she looked up. Where am I? Well, she saw Nightmare Moon staring at her with a small smile. Her jaw dropped and started stammering. What? When? How? Twilight! Applejack shouted. She ran around Nightmare Moon and picked up her friend in a crescent hug. Twilight, you're alive! The farmer started crying. I can't tell you how glad I am to see you. I thought you were gone forever.
Applejack, can't breathe.
So I guessed. The crying farmer immediately lowered her down, just as she thought she would release her. Applejack closed her eyes and kissed her. Twilight stopped breathing and her eyes widened to the size of dinner plates, as her friend passionately tried to slip her tongue into her mouth. Suddenly, Applejack's eyes snapped open and she pulled back in a panic, letting go of Twilight, who landed on her flanks, staring into space. Ah! I'm so sorry, Sugar Cube. Applejack, the farmer, stammered, wiping a tear from her eye.
Just mighty glad you came back, is all.
Twilight managed a weak smile.
Huh?
Her frame finally started to kick in, as she jumped up.
What was that?
The pan pony would look her in the eye, so Twilight looked around, hoping to get an explanation from the other ponies in the room. Her eyes settled on Nightmare Moon as he immediately, and her jaw fell slack. The dark alicorn raised an eyebrow. Twilight would have asked something, had Trixie not called to struggle to get up.
Trixie? What are you doing here?
The shellmare shook her head, but then looked down at Big Macintosh. Without stopping to think, she took his hoof into both of hers and held him up. It was then when both of them stood firmer that she blinked and stared at their hooves holding the draft ponies.
Big Mac, I can touch you, she whispered.
Big Mac, for his part, was completely paralyzed. He looked down, wondering if his die and his body had remained on the floor. Everything seemed to be order. Yup.
Big Mac, I can touch you!
Trixie shouted as he jumped and hugged the big red stallion's neck. The shellmare then promptly pulled him to a very deep kiss, shocking more than one of his assembled ponies. Unlike Twilight, Big Mac immediately repucrated. He held Trixie tenderly against him for what seemed like an eternity. When the two finally pulled apart, the draft pony chuckled and wrapped a foreleg around Trixie's waist. You sure can. Twilight shook her head again and stepped back.
Okay, what's going on?
She looked around.
Where are we?
Her eyes warmed towards the stallion and Snowmare nuzzling.
Why is Trixie here, acting like she's Big Macintosh's Philly friend? Why did she kiss him? Why did he kiss her? Why did Applejack kiss me?
She pointed at Soren in joy. Jade, her voice gaining a slightly hysteric tone.
Where are those two ponies?
She kept walking backwards, eyes wild until her body back hit the wall.
Most important of all, why is Nightmare Moon here?
The Pegasus right next to Nightmare Moon raised his hoof.
Miss Sparkle, I have a question first, if you don't mind.
What is it?
Weren't you supposed to be a unicorn?
Twilight blinked.
What do you mean? Of course I'm a...
She stopped. She couldn't feel her magic. She brought a hoof up to her forehead.
My horn!
She brought herself eye to level with Nightmare Moon.
You must be behind this. Where's my horn? What happened to my magic?
Nightmare Moon sighed. Oh, why do I feel like I've been explaining myself every time I meet some pony in the last few days? She looked down to Jade when the assassin poked her in the arm. Clop, tap, tap, clop, hoof pointing at her. Then hoofs smashing against each other. Clop, clop, scratch, forelegs open wide. The unicorn had then proceeded to hoof talk to the unicorn, seemingly taking a degree of glee as the fearsome nightmare blushed, growled, and looked scandalized. Applejack snickered by herself, and Nightmare Moon glared at the unicorn.
Thank you, Jade, for pointing that out. Twilight was about to speak when she noticed he was hovering. She felt her stomach grow cold as she slowly looked over at her shoulder and to a pair of flapping wings on her back. Oh, horse apples. In Queen Nightmare Flare's chambers, 5 creatures knelt before the Queen and her faithful student. One in the front slowly stood up. We are ready for the execution, my Queen. She was almost as tall as the Queen. Her wingspan was just as wide. Her draconian tail swished lazily behind her. Powerful claws clicked on the hard stone floor. 2 pairs of wings, one draconian, one feathered, scintillated slightly. Golden red eyes regarded the alicorn and the purple unicorn with devotion. Good, Nightmare Flare grinned. And the members of this cult you were part of? They would be grounded up and executed too. Nightmare Flare laughed. Well said, my dear. I am debating whether to let you keep your old name or give you a new one. Your wishes are my wishes, my Queen. Oh, I like your attitude.
Twilight sparked and smiled and trotted up to the half-reptilian pony. She nuzzled her.
Can I keep her while she's not in service? Applejack and I could have so much fun with her.
We shall see, Twilight, the Alcorn said, although I believe she has her eyes set on Rainbow Dash.
Ooh, this is just imagining it's giving me shivers,
the Unicorn said, giving Spitfire a lustful look.
So, a new name?
Nightmare Flare shook her head.
No, I think Spitfire's oddly appropriate, especially now. Wouldn't you agree, Captain?
Spitfire smiled, revealed a row of pony teeth and a small spurt of flame.
Sound the trumpets,
Nightmare Flare ordered as she slowly walked towards the door. It's time to show all my subjects what happens when they make fun of the Queen.